Oh. That took to Beggar's hand and put a ring with the seal of the one-winged eagle on his finger. Yeah. I guess so. I guess it is time for the true wedding to happen right here. The one that both of them deserve.
いいのか
領主はすでにあなたです。ですからこの指輪はバトラさんのものです。
本当にいいのかこれはお前が生み出した世界。
はい、あなたと一緒になりたくて生み出した物語だから、もうこの世界の目的は果たされました。だからこれからはあなたが紡いでください。私とあなたのこれからの物語を。てんじゃ、勝手が狂うか。
Yeah.
領主のめんどくさい仕事を押し付けるだけよ。夫人は威張るだけでいいから実に気楽なことだ。わらわは日々を遊んで、そなたが新しい物語を書くのを待てばいい。そして新しい物語のたびにそなたのためにどんな役でもこなそうぞ。
Yeah. Well, now we know that Battle had to deal with logic errors that in the previous games we were not even aware of. We didn't think much of plot holes and such that could happen to Battle, which, when I'm thinking about it, may have also something to do with the end of episode 3. Maybe Battle was also dealing with something like that at the end of episode 3, so she had to do what she had to do to end game 3 with Beatrice and such. But yeah, there's another thing like on the pile of problems that can happen with Beller in the next games, like more logic errors that Beller would have to deal with. And all the other stuff that we're probably still not even aware of.
凶悪な魔女でも公的種でも恋人でも妻でも。
俺の物語は激しいぞ。朝から晩まで大忙しだ。
うん、望むところよ。
Battle's hand relinquished the ring of the Territory Lord. From Beller, she received a silver ring with a crest that could only be worn by the wife of the Territory Lord. Then, they exchanged their rings, and their wedding was complete. Then, the pair turned around, faced the packed crowds of guests, and raised their rings high. Alright, well, you know, this is really great. Yeah, at least the ending of this game, at least all this ended in a happy ending for Beato and Beatrice, just as I had hoped for. It's just that, well, I cannot say that this is all a happy ending for me, at least. I mean, this is something that I'm probably gonna think of for quite a while, but... And it's still something that I am questioning on the back of my mind about Erika. I mean, is this it? Is this gonna be the last time that I'm gonna see her? I mean, yeah. That is what they've been building up to, like the outcome, the battle between the two. That one will win and the other will lose. The other will lose and live in eternal hell or stuff like that. But yeah, I never really thought that this would. Yeah, I guess a part of me never thought that or never wanted to think that this is actually going to be the last time I'm going to be. That this is going to be the last time that I'm going to see Erika and such. It is sad indeed, in my eyes. I didn't even get to say goodbye. I didn't even get the time to give her meaning battle. It's like if this is actually it, and this is gonna be the last time I'm gonna see her, then sure as hell I'm gonna miss her. Like she has done a lot of bad stuff up until this point that Battle, Battler, or anybody else, they wouldn't think such things, but well, I surely do. And not to mention Delnor, like, what is she thinking right now? If this is it. Thunderous applause running out for them.
今宵の慶事を記念し、領主陛下より叙勲が与えられます。
呼ばれたる者は前へ。
Yeah, Beller's not. Battle read the name of the first guest to be recognized.
Conor, 前へ。
Oh? The girl go pushed her way through the crowd, took off her mask, and yelled. A cloud of gold butterflies gathered before Beller's battle, and took the form of Conor, kneeling in front of these two nobles. Yeah, but look at that. Even Conor is here. Yeah, like, you know, they had their ending, and you know, metaphorically speaking, this is more than likely, like, the duel that happened, it could very well be what had happened, and what the decision, Man, I never really set, like, a definition for this, like, the original person that holds the personalities of Shannon, Kanon, and Battle. Like, it was always interchangeable and such. I never really, like, gave, like, a name or something like that to this original person. It could be Sayo, it could be Yoshiya, it could be Shannon, Kanon, Beatrice. There's not really, like, a original, like, a name to set myself for. I guess I could just call them, like, Person X or something like that, but nonetheless, this could very well be the final decision that happens, like, on Rock and Jima. Like, this could very well be what had happened, or, I guess this is something I'm gonna have to think about, but nonetheless, Kanon is here, and, well, I guess with how many times we've seen him, both in helping us with saving Beller, and even here as well. We're gonna see him in the next games. Totally. Surely. Kanon had already died and vanished. However, all the dead are revived in the Golden Land. Yep. At least we have the Golden Land, just so that I can see him.
ここにそなたは囚われの身となっていた我が夫の危機に対しこれを救出し永遠の牢獄に自ら残るという自己犠牲を見せた。その献身叙勲に値する。よってその身の復活と士官を許可するものである。はっ、ありがたき幸せ。
Jiska raced forward and landed sobbing in Kanor's chest. Kanon patted her head gently and held her.
家具として使えるんじゃないぜ。人間として使えるんだぜ。そこの意味、理解してるよな。
Oh?
はい。
After looking at Jiska sobbing, he looked at Better again and nodded forcefully. Alright, well that's lovely.
そしてもう一組。後ろ宮ジョージ、並びにシャノン。
Alright.
前へ。
はい。
And George and Shannon were the next to be called. Perhaps they had already readied themselves. And they walked forward boldly and kneeled.
後ろ宮ジョージ、ここに。
シャノン、ここに。
そなたらはゼパルとフルフルの試練を見事最後まで耐え抜いた。その見事な功績と愛情、決意と高潔さは模範としてこの上なく叙勲に値する。よって両名の結婚証明書を陛下の署名にて発行する。
ありがたき幸せ。
本証明書は何人たりとも異議申し立てすることはかなわない。叙勲者親族一同は心して祝福せよ。
Yeah, you heard that, family? You heard that, Eva? Recognize and bless this union.
つうわけだ。しがらみは一切なしで、どうか二人に米粒の雨をぶつけて祝福してやってくれ。よっ、おめでとう、ご両人。
When the territory lord clapped his hands in celebration, it spread throughout the entire cathedral. Then, a group of goats in the front of the line of the crowd took their masks off one by one.
いいこと？あんまりしょっぱいお味噌汁作ったら許さないんだからね。それからジョージは少し太りやすいから砂糖は控えめに。
ジョージ、男は結婚したらな、親より嫁を大切にせなあかん。母さんが何を言ってもな、シャノンちゃんをしっかり守るんやで。
ああ、当然さ。
Yep. Let George eat all he wants. Let him get chubby and such.
ジョージさん。
ジョージはね、きっちり7時間寝ないとダメなのよ。夜更かしさせたら許さないんだからね。背中を流すのも耳の掃除も妻の仕事なのよ。そうだったんですか？私としたことが。
仕事内容は家による。
ルドルフさん、妻を大事にしてる？
してるじゃねえか。なんでそこ疑うんだよ。
お幸せにね、ご両人。結婚はゴールじゃないわ。むしろスタートよ。
おめでとう、おめでとう。うりゅう、おめでとう。
僕たちも負けてられないですね。
絶対負けねえぜ。畜生。
All the Ushima family, all the servants, and all the spirits and demons in attendance celebrated the honorees with even greater applause.
これにて黄金の魔女によって紡がれる物語は幕を閉じる。
Yeah, you know, technically, well, I would assume that Kinzo is also here, but if that's the case, then, well, everyone's here in the Golden Land. Even the Beller has finally overcame his sins. Well, not overcame, but rather he did what he had to do, and now he recognized his sins, and fixed things, and now everybody is here. So, yep, totally.
最後は碑文にて物語を結ぶのが良いだろう。以下は黄金の魔女の碑文より黄金鏡の章。魔女は賢者をたたえ4つの宝を与えるだろう。一つは黄金鏡のすべての黄金。一つはすべての死者の魂をよみがえらせ、一つは失った愛すらもよみがえらせる。一つは魔女を永遠に眠りにつかせよう。
安らかに眠れ、我が最愛の魔女ベアトリーチェ。
And that was the end. Eh? What do you think about NG?
これでベアとは満足して眠りについたってこと？
そう解釈するのが妥当であろう。
それでゲームはお開きになったからお兄ちゃんは解放されるんでしょ？お兄ちゃんはどうなるの？
さてどうなるやら。そのかけらの書物はそこまでの物語しか記しておらぬようだ。
I mean, now that I'm thinking about past events and such, there is the ending of Game 4, and how Beller wanted to defeat Beatrice and come back to Angie. That was his goal at that point. But yeah, like after that, after learning about Beatrice and fighting for her, becoming the master, and now this, I don't think that we've heard a single peep from Beller about Angie. Like, he learned his sin and thus he did a complete 180. But what about Angie?
お兄ちゃんがどうなるか結局分からずじまいじゃない。
It's not as though anything will come out of it anyway. In the end, Oni-chan and the others never came back. Yeah. I guess, I don't know, like, I guess in similar fashion to how it is up to the reader to determine what Beller's sin is. The reason why we never really seen Beller think about the sin and how he figured it out and how like what he thought of it. He only realized it and had a breakdown for it, but we never really seen it. Only that he wanted the Beatrice back. I guess in similar fashion to that, I guess we're gonna have to figure out what he thinks of Angie now and why he decided to do a complete 180 in comparison to before where he wanted to come back to Angie, whereas now, no, not so much. I guess that is probably one thing that we're probably gonna focus on from now on. They reached the Golden Land and enjoyed themselves there. So says the tale. But in reality, everyone died in that horrific accident.
でもいろいろと興味深いことが知れたわ。あの島はやっぱりとんでもない幻想の島なのね。
まったくだ。そしてそなたの朗読はとても素晴らしいものだった。
なんだかぶっ通して6時間くらい映画を見せられたような疲労感だわ。
I know, right?
疲れた。
Like a really... like a really long book. It really makes you question like how long these stories have been in comparison to other books. Like, I do have like a list of word counts for each of these games and their tea parties and such. It's pretty extensive.
後宮エンジェ、本当にご苦労だった。我が退屈はそなたの朗読によって癒された。このフェザリーヌ、数えることも忘れて久しい年月ぶりに心よりそなたに感謝するぞ。
感謝するなら私にも何か助訓してほしいわね。
ふむ、何が良いか。
ふむ。
少し時間をもらおう。考える。
Veteran sat down in her rocking chair and rocked it gently, apparently trying to think of something. Alright, well, might as well. Yeah, it's not like we're in a hurry right now. Basically, the game ended on a partially good note, as such. And, well, until the next game and such, I don't think that there's really much else that can be done except, well, do some extra stuff, I guess. I don't even know. I guess one thing that I'm definitely gonna be doing is mourn Erika a bit. Think about past events and such and all, since she's no longer gonna be here. Other than that, well, I'm not even sure what Beatrice and Bella are gonna be doing in the future from now on. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna be doing some new games. Well, Lambda and Berka still are a thing. I guess I am forgetting about them. They are surely gonna be doing some new stuff. They're gonna spice things up to the point where we're gonna be doing a new game. I mean, they brought Erika in the 5th game. God knows what would happen next. Maybe bring Erika again for the 7th game.
後宮エンジェ、本当にご苦労だった。よくぞ最後まで朗読に付き合ってくれた。これにて我が巫女の任を解く。
Oh, so I guess we're not gonna so I guess Angie's not gonna be reading your next stories?
そなたは元の世界に戻り、そなたに与えられた運命を再開するがいい。
やれやれ。とんだ寄り道だったって感じね。
すねるな。褒美は今考えている。そうだな。たまには少し。いや、もう随分とやっていない。
What?
壺のインクも干からびて墨になっていそうであるな。
Even after the tale ended, Angie and Hachijo's debate over it continued for quite some time. He was very serious and fiery. Angie acknowledged that this tale was no crazy literary work, but a new message bottle, which had drifted here once more from the Rokinjima of 12 years previous to tell of a single possible truth. Well, I can take that in a literal sense, but I think that this is a figure of speech or metaphor of some sorts. Not quite a message in a bottle similar to the first two, but it is a metaphorical message bottle that Angie had found as well, in the form of a story written by Hachijo and such. It is quite something. I do have to wonder what the next message bottle is going to be about. And it seemed as though she had found her own interpretation of the truth she thought the tale was trying to tell. Of course, there was only one truth, and it did not mean an end to our journey. Well, you know, I guess without thinking too much of it right now, because I'm gonna be honest, my brain is a little bit moosh right now. I guess this month is... It is a... Well, I'm not gonna say it is rough or anything like that. It's just that... You know that feeling of how you just feel like staying in bed longer than usual and, you know, rest your soul a little bit. It is... I guess it is similar to me as well. Like, I, for one, like, once things are gonna come back to normal, I'll be doing the next game with a happy smile on my face. But, I guess until then... I mean, it's not gonna last long, this pause that I'm doing right over here, but, I mean, by the beginning of March, I'm probably gonna start Game 7 and such. I don't think that there's any doubt about that. I guess it kind of depends on how long the next investigation video is going to be about, which at first glance it tells me that's probably not going to be a long one this time. I don't know. I guess I'll see about that, but trying not to lose my train of thought over here. The point is, like what I'm trying to interpret here is nothing too complicated right over here. My idea that I'm gonna say right here is that I feel like this entire story, like Umineko, is a story of grief and apologizing to past events and such. The truth is that the event happened. There's no coming back to it. So I feel like these stories, or rather these last stories that are happening right over here, after the first 2 or 3 and such, they are a way of saying sorry to Beatrice and such. I feel like there is quite a difference between the first 2 games and the rest of the games, in the sense that, like, the first 2 games, in retrospect, they felt so horrific, so vindictive a little bit. It has been nothing but suffering on Balor's part and such. It is mostly from episode 3 onwards where things progress a little bit more towards an apology. Like episodes 3, 4, and 5, they were a build-up to Balor's apology to Beatrice as a result of what he has experienced in the first 2 games and such. And these stories are written in a way to say, I apologize to you, Beatrice, for what I have done. And as a sign of me understanding this, these stories are being written in a way to make you feel like, hey, at least I understood it right now. Because, well, better late than never, I guess. I guess that's kind of what is going on right over here with this. That's how I feel about it. Like, I apologize if I'm not at my best in terms of explaining this at this point, but that is the general idea that I'm having out of this. That these last, like, games 3, 4, 5, and 6 are games written in a way to apologize to Beatrice. Like, maybe that is the truth that Hachijo reached. Like, these stories are written with the sole purpose of apologizing to Beatrice. Still, this interpretation had its place. It wasn't sufficient to fill the 12-year gap in her heart. However, for now, she was content just to enjoy the feeling the tale had created, along with the bitter coffee Hachijo had made.
ありがとう。最後まで読んでくれて。
And not just as an apology, but these stories were written with the idea that Beller would understand in the end what Beatrice, Beatrice Shannon Kanon Sayo, like the person behind these personalities, that he wouldn't understand what she wanted the most and all that, like what future she wanted out of Beller and such. And, well, I guess the harsh reality is that Beller, in a real sense, never managed to do these, but at least he would understand in the form of these stories and such what she wanted, which, it is still good.
そしてあなたの考えと感想をありがとう。
Thank you as well, Hachijo.
きっと一番最初の無限の魔女も喜んでいると思います。
なんだ、素直にそういうことも言えるじゃない。最初からそういう口調で喋ってればもっとファンも増えるんじゃない？
あなたという素晴らしい読者を称えているだけです。物言わぬ、考えることもできぬ豚どもに読ませるくらいならば、あなた一人のために原稿を記す方が、私に与えられた寿命という時間をよほど有意義に費やせると言いたいだけ。
だからそういうことを言わなきゃいいのに。ま、一応は褒められたと思っておくわ。さて。
I mean, you're still being an ass about about generalizing the rest of the readers and such, but then again, I understand the thing about readers that are not so decent about your works. There are definitely bad apples out there, that's for sure. I'm not gonna deny that. It's just the overgeneralization of things a little bit over here, but nonetheless, I get the feeling that I spent a really, really long time here. It feels as though I spent a major fraction of my life here. Or, in my case, like, for this particular game, like, months. For the entire story, 2 years. Yeah, it should feel uncomfortable, sitting here on a sofa in someone else's house. But for some strange reason, it feels as familiar as my own home. However, the clock shows that it's been only about 2 or 3 hours since I met her. I mean, technically, this is pretty much the best house that you are getting here, Angie. My sense of time feels very strange.
お連れの方は遅いですね。
長電話かしら。男のくせに気持ち悪いやつ。
Why is that? He said he was going to make a scheduled report to Okonogi-san, didn't he? Even though he was told that he could use the phone here, he declined and went to look for a public phone somewhere. Something about how he didn't want to risk being bugged. It was too ridiculous a point to argue, so I just left into it.
公衆電話って遠いんですか？
通りに出てずっと下っていけば角のお店にありますよ。
これでおいとまします。これ洋館代にでも。
Alright, well, bye, Hachijo. Maybe we're gonna see each other, like, in the future. Who knows, but I do have to thank you for this lovely story that you brought us.
そのお金をあなたに払ったら、また来て私の新しい原稿を読んで感想を聞かせてくれますか？
Fuck yeah! Don't you want that too, Angie?
札束払ってまで私みたいな可愛くない女に原稿読んでほしいんですか？
いいえ、あなたは本当に良い、よく考える読者だった。あなたのような人を探すために私たちは物語を紡ぎ世に放っているのです。
褒めすぎだわ。私は読書に感情移入しすぎるタイプなだけよ。
この短くない時間を割いてくれたお礼に、いつかきっとあなたの物語を書きましょう。
Oh, Angie's tale. Yeah, you know, I was thinking of something like that, as I said before. That maybe we're gonna be focusing on Angie in one of the next games and such. That'll be something. We're gonna go back to focusing on Angie. Less, you know, past events and such, because we already delved into that. Let's think about the future and, you know, stuff like that. Who knows?
またあんたの義書に私が登場するの？今度はマシな殺し方を頼むわ。
あなたは奇跡はお好き？
ご都合主義？昔は嫌いだったけど、最近は大歓迎よ。ただ、口が肥えてるんで、ビルから飛び降りて無傷なくらいじゃ、もう奇跡には入れてないけど。
では、そんなあなたが奇跡に思える物語を、やがて、いつか。
どうも。突然押しかけて、ひどいことばっかり言って、すみませんでした。
いいえ、有意義な対談でしたよ。編集局長さんに、またあなたとの対談をセッティングしてもらおうかしら。
その機会がまたあるならね。See you again. Have a nice day.
See you again. Have a nice day.
ええ、またいつか。あなたの真実にたどり着けますように。
ありがとう。
もしあなたの真実にたどり着けたなら、あなたの真実もいつか物語にしてみてください。
あんたらの魔女仲間になれと？
Angie writing her own story. Being her own game master. Well, could be possible.
どうかしら。文字書くの苦手だし、良き読者が良き執筆者とは限らないわよ。
いやいや、まったく。私も人の本は全く読めませんし。
There's also, you know, there is also the mystery of Hachijo herself. You know, a lot of characters popped up in these stories. Demons and witches. Some of them do have connections to Beatrice and the characters and such, the family. Some do not. Like, Virgilia is a representation of Kumasawa. Genji is Ronoe is a representation of Genji. The jury is still out there on whether Gap is a representation of Nanjo or not. But probably not. But, you know, I do have to ask myself if Hachijo has, like, any connection to the family and such, because thus far, while she has understood the truth, or rather, she reached her own truth about what happened and such. I do have to wonder if she really had like any connection to the family or anything. Cause otherwise, you know, Hachijo could be anybody else that Angie could have talked to. Hachijo could have been anybody else who could have written these stories and such. It kind of makes me question a little bit.
やれやれ。じゃあこれで。
あなたとはこれで二度と会わないだろうけれど、いつかどこかで別のあなたにまた会える幸運を祈っています。
Like, it makes me question if, for example, this could be Kinzo's... I'm having my doubts that this would be Kinzo's other wife that he left behind for Beatrice. Because we haven't really heard much of Kinzo's old wife, like the mother of the siblings. We never really heard much of her and what happened to her exactly. But no. I guess if I were to think of it realistically, I'm having my doubts, but yeah, very well can be possible.
最後に一つだけ聞いてもいい？
どうぞ。
物語の中に登場したフェザリーヌって魔女、あれはあんたよね？
語るのもおこがましいですが、そのつもりです。
こういう質問もおかしいんだけど、あんたがフェザリーヌなの？フェザリーヌがあんたなの？
さて、何の話やら。
The mysterious woman remained mysterious to the end. And so I made it through a day I had no memory of. And the following day, I took a boat to Nijima. I'll probably never see her again. However, that just means that I will see her. The other me's might. Somewhere down the road. Just as I was able to reach several tunes, I pray that they too can reach their destinations. So long, Federin. If I ever write a better story, please call me again. If I'm free, I might drop by.
O かげさまでこんな豪勢なエスコートは初めてですぜ。おこのぎの旦那も招待したいくらいだ。
遠慮する。もう俺は年だ。飛んだり跳ねたりは卒業したぜ。
The person on the other end of the line was Okonogi. Okonogi was also one who tended to move from place to place, so it had been easy to catch him even on the phone.
こっちはクールな旅をしてますんで、今んところ飛んだり跳ねたりの必要はありません。
スマデラカスミが死に物狂いで探している。情報屋の話じゃ、すでに六軒島への足まで用意させてるらしい。鉢合わせするぜ。
予定通りですかね。
せいぜい5、6人前後のグループだろう。武装もおそらく拳銃程度。お前の敵じゃない。好きに暴れろ。だが確実に殺せ。お前好みのおもちゃは用意できたか？
もちろん。旦那もよくこんなもんが国内で手配できるもんだ。
I guess this is this is another teeny tiny hint towards another interpretation of what happened in Game 4 on Okenjima with Kasumi and Angie. Like, another interpretation of that. Behind Amakusa was the rental car that they had borrowed under false name, inside of which was now a black golf bag.
スマデラ本家も了承済みだが、終わったらとっとと日本を離れろ。今度は成田でカップ麺を箱で買うのを忘れるんじゃねえぜ。
今度は気をつけますって。
ああ？
ちょろい仕事です。
あと、例の件も分かってるよな。
例の件。はて、何のことやら。
とぼけやがって。まあいいさ。お前はなんだかんだ言って昔から俺の期待を裏切らない男さ。お前さえ容量が良けりゃ手を汚さずに済む。いくらでもやりようがある
さ。何の話か分かりかねますぜ。
エンジェちゃんもかわいそうな子なのは分かってんだ。ならそうと真相の令状らしく振る舞ってくれりゃいいんだが、エヴァさん亡き後俺たちは結束していくことで合意してんだ。みこしは大事だが少々よろしくない。世界平和のためにも
な。流れ次第ってことですぜ。スマデラの黒服がマシな銃の撃ち方をしてくれりゃいいんだが。なんですだ。
まさかほんの数日の逃避行でエンジェちゃんとできちまったわけじゃねえだろう
な。あんなちくせえ小娘にご冗談を。
いや、俺は別にいいんだぜ。お前もようやく女にちょっかいを出すくらいには吹っ切れたってことじゃねえか。世界の半分は女なんだぜ。一人や二人でうじうじしてたら身が持たねえぜ。
おっと、噂すりゃなんとやらだ。お嬢が来ました。そんじゃこれで新島の宿に着いたら連絡しますぜ。それじゃ。
Angie walked down the street towards me. Why did she have to do that when I told her to wait for me to come back? If only she wasn't like this, she might have lived a long life.
ずいぶん長電話だったのね。待ち疲れたからおいとましてきたわ。
すみませんすみません。お嬢はどうでした？何か面白いことは分かりましたかい？
面白かった。収穫はそれだけよ。
そいつはクールだ。
After Amakusa opened the passenger side door, Angie got in the car. Amakusa quickly went around the driver's seat.
じゃあ港へ向かいます。旦那の情報じゃスマデラ家が網を張ってるらしいですぜ。
それに引っかかるようなら私の運もその程度。引っかからないなら六軒島は私を待ってるわ。任せましょう、運に。
運か。
どうするか決めかねているとき、あるいはどうでもいいとき、コイントスのように運命に身を任すのも悪いことじゃないわ。
へへ。なら俺もそいつに任せてみますかね。嫌いじゃねえや、そういうの。
Well, may luck be on our side, I guess.
ボディーガードが運任せとか言い出したわ。最悪。
旦那との電話のせいですっかりオチを読み損ねちまった。あの後どうなったんですかい？聞かせてくださいよ。
いやよ、教えないわ。
そりゃ残念。
The car dashed through the hilly town. He would not return to Hachijo's house for all eternity. However, Angie didn't get sentimental about it. For now, she just wanted to suddenly consider the new message bottle that the current endless witch, Hachijo Toya, had given her. In the rearview mirror, the town where the witch lived faded off into the distance. However, that scene wasn't reflected in Angie's eyes.